Hey guys, what's up? It's Cam. Welcome back to another video on the channel. And today we're going to be doing another analyzing video, what I did right and wrong. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, I decided to land risky reels, and I realized that there was a weapon on the very top, so I went straight for that. I did not go for the minis just because I did not want to go for minis and get killed. That guy jumped off, took a ton of fall damage. I knew he was gonna take fall damage, and so I just shot him with the SMG. This guy just had nothing. Decided to run off, grab some wood, just pickaxe me. I chucked my nades. I could have saved them for later, but I chucked them in that direction so I can maybe get like a little kill or two. Because I did know that there was a player there, and you clearly saw him. So this is a little tip you can do. You can build a ramp in a 1x1 like this, and it'll protect you really easily. All you have to do is look at the floor, and you can just build a ramp, and then that will help you out a lot. That'll give you a lot of cover. So I know there's at least a couple people. So I decide to grab some mats, and this actually helps me out later, because in early game you want to have a lot of mats. You don't really want to have like a low amount of mats. You always want to have a high amount of mats late game, and that is what I'm doing. So right now I'm just taking a height area, and I remember that there were minis up here, so I go ahead and pop them. And I know there's fighting, or I know there's going to be fighting soon. And I see a guy down there, right next to the cars, near the big house. And there's a second player there, so I know that one of them can get hit. I double headshot one of them, and that was an easy kill. So always take third parties if you're from a safe distance, or if you just want to get your hands dirty, go ahead and go straight for them. But I edit down. And I just go for the loot, because I need the loot. I don't necessarily need it, but I would like it. I'd like an upgrade in all my stuff. And I severely apologize for that. But I don't necessarily need the loot, but I just want to grab it to prevent the other player from having any loot. And I know that he's somewhere close by or at the house, so I try to get a little angle, and I decided to build up so I could see him better. And I see him behind this wall, just sitting right there. Yeah, he's just right down there, sitting behind the wall. And so I tried to engage him. So what I could have done is I could have rushed this guy. This guy looked like a very easy target to kill. Not the best player, obviously. I was just looking around for traps, but what he decides to do, which was really smart, is he disengaged. He went back. He broke through the fences, and he decided to disengage. Now, he makes a huge mistake later in the game, which I will show you. But if you see on the minimap down there, that little red arrow, that is the guy I was fighting. Now, always, if you're in a losing position, always disengage if you can. If you can, and that is the only way you should disengage, only if you can. If you're going to get, if you know you're 100% going to get shot on your rotation, do not disengage, okay? Stay where you are and fight. Fight until you die. You can at least get rid of the opponent's shield and make them die in their next fight. Or what you could do is you could break the structure down if you build battle. And you could just get a little easy, kill. They'll die. You will live live, and that's pretty much all. Yeah, that's like the only tip I have. So I see this loot right here, and I'm like, do I really want a sniper? And no, not really. And my brain, for some reason, just told me that I have 80 HP still instead of 100. So I just decided to pop the campfire because my brain is not working at the moment, and the guy from earlier decides to come and shoot me. So I edit out and reposition. Try to get a little shot on him, get some extra wood just in case something happens, and I do not see him anymore. So I decide to go to the left, and I decide to take a better angle, and fortunately enough for me, this guy he tries to spray me with an SMG. Doesn't really work. I just take out my shotgun, a couple hits, and he's out of the game. So what he could have done there is he could have built, same thing. He could have built. There was no reason why he shouldn't have. I think he was just like a noob or something. And he didn't really like want to, I guess, or not really want to, but like he didn't feel like building. Oh, Bahaley. But even if you weren't the best at Fortnite, you should always build no matter what, because that will help you out severely in the long run. And if you don't know how to build, then you can always just go into creative, watch some tips on YouTube and then start building. Practice editing, practice building in general. It's really just like a very controversial thing that you can learn and master quickly. Yeah. So what I do here is I know I have a flopper and I want more, so I go fishing. And that is something that you can always do in Fortnite. You can always go fishing. And the floppers actually help me out a lot late game. And they will help you out too if you decide to use them. Because sometimes, we don't make the smartest decisions. Don't do this, don't do that, and then we die. But what you could do is you could, get floppers early game or mid game like I'm doing. And you can get some easy, you can get some really easy heals. And the heals will actually help you out a lot in the long run. So I just fished a purple pump, and that's another thing you can get from fishing. You can get really good loot. I fished multiple golden scars from just using the fishing rod and getting some fish. And you should always consider that to be an option to fish, because fishing is just like such a good controversial thing that you can do. And you don't need to master it at all. All you have to do is just put your fishing rod in the little area with fish in it, and that's just some easy freaking heals. And you should really be carrying floppers if you are, as mediocre at the game as I am, because if you are an average player or an above average player like I am, and you're carrying floppers late game, if it comes down to a heal off, you will win 100% of the time. Or not 100% of the time, but like 99% of the time. Because floppers heal 50 HP, they're super fast to pop, and you can pop one in like a second. So it's just a really easy and smart thing to keep in your inventory all the way up until late game. So Sorry, I had to do a cut there. I had to edit that in. So basically, I saw a guy breaking down this wall. I decided to take some shots at him, and it completely breaks down his shield. I see him pulling out his gun there. I decided to build a wall. He builds a ramp. I box him in. He gets scared that I have a trap and tries to break out the side. But I spray with my SMG and I spray his ramp down. And while he's building, or while he's trying to get out of the wall, I spray his ramp, and then that's an easy kill. I know there's a guy this way because he shot at me earlier. I decide to try and take some little shots at him, and I miss. Sorry guys, had to cut a little there. So I missed those shots. He knows I'm here now, and he's gonna snipe at me. And I know he has a sniper, so I'm not peeking my head. I'm just building up, trying to get this care package, because I can potentially get some good loot. So I see him building up with a ramp and a cone, and I get distracted for a little bit, and then he starts building up. So I laser him while he's building up. He places a cone. I laser the cone, and I kill the cone. Then I pump him for over 100 through, not through the cone, but because I destroyed the cone, I pumped him for 100. Now, there should be a guy building up pretty soon, and I see him building up right here, and so I start building up to get high ground. I choke my edits, I choke my building, and then he lagged out while he was building up, which is really unfortunate for him. I did get sniped at there, and this supply drop that I've been defending for this whole time did not give me anything. So, really unfortunate. But I go down to claim my loot, and then I heard someone shooting, and it was just a robot. And I decided to take some shots at the robot, and then I kill it, and this random dude just comes out of nowhere. And so, since I have an RPG, I shoot that. He's really aggressive. I see that he goes to my left, so I edit out the top, and I go to retake height. Now I know I own almost all of this up here, and that's gonna play in my favor in a second. So he just gets stuck right there. I hit him for 40. I forgot that I did not have an SMG, so I'm lucky I didn't shoot that. He keeps on jumping. I hit him for 40 something, and then he just falls to his death. Really unfortunate for him. I get an upgrade for my RPG, so I now have like in a second I'm gonna have a gold burst. I'll just speed this up. Gold burst, purple pump shotgun, purple purple RPG, mats, floppers, and minis, I believe. Now I decide to build up and use a cone trick here just to see through the cone. This is really useful, especially in like arena or scrims, because it's such a useful technique. I see a dude over there in that wood 1x1, and I decide not to fight him. Now, I know that there are still a couple people left, so I'm being really careful. And now I'm going to move or rotate over to my left. And so I see building here, and I see a guy, and I decide to RPG, and somehow, in some way, the RPG just goes straight through the building. He is so lucky that the RPG went just straight through the building. But I see him building up. He chokes his builds, chokes his edits, and I can tell by what he's doing that he's not necessarily the best player I've seen today. So what I should have done here is I should have RPG'd and then pumped him, but I decided to go in and I just pumped him. I hit him for 70 shield, so I know he has more shield. And I decide to use my RPG, and I try to find him. It's not working. I look around a lot, and I just cannot find this man. And then the storm is going to come in about a second, and I start hearing him. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm about to fight this guy. This guy's about to fight me. So why don't I just rotate? And then I hear him, and so I box up because I know I have floppers. And once I start taking storm damage, this guy starts to shoot me. I apologize, guys, for so many cuts. I just have to go to the restroom, but he starts shooting at me, and I get tagged for a little bit, only 14. But it's kind of enough to say, hey, this guy's going to be really aggressive, even though he's not the best player. So I don't want to really be in a situation where I can get cannibal stormed by a dude that's spamming with a P90 or whatever gun he's spamming. And so I decide to scare him with the RPG. He starts going down. He gets scared. He falls down into the circle, and so I decide to follow him. And I decided to box up with Metal here, just because he is a very spammy type of player, and I just do not want to be spammed by someone like him. So what happens here is I RPG the wall and shoot him, and I hit him for like 20 something. That's enough to scare him away, and he starts being shot by another player. Now that player RPGs that box, and I realize that the only thing that's holding those cones up is that little wood wall right there. So I was gonna RPG that, but I realized that probably wouldn't get to him. So I just decided to shoot the wood wall down, break his cover, and he was just sitting there minding his own business, and I just took care of him real fast. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna go straight for the loot. I know there's a guy up top. I know there's one more person, and I do not know where he is. And as soon as I get out of my box, I see him. So now I know where both players are, and that gives me the advantage because I know exactly where both players are, and both of them are not shooting at me at all. So I decided to go into the circle, onto the mainland, and actually position myself in an area where I will not really be shot at very much. I am in between both of them, both of the players, but I'm building out of metal, which is sort of scaring them a little bit. And right now I'm just right-hand peeking so I can see one of the two players, and I'm seeing that he's choking his builds, choking his edits, building kind of weirdly. And so I make the assumption that this guy is not going to be a very good player. And so what I do here is I edit and then reset my pyramid so I can see through the pyramid without editing. That's something you guys should do. That's why I build with metal a lot of the times. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to left-hand peek. Now, you will see that guy in the little doorway right over there in the left. Yep, that's the guy. And so I decided to take shots at him, and the other dude does as well. I only hit him for 30. And then this guy decides to take shots back at me. So I break his shield, he breaks mine, and I get a little frightened because I'm like, well, you know, I might lose this game. And I hear the dude to my left, so I need to build up, like, fast. And I know there's a dude behind me, so I decide to build up with that. Metal that has been treating me so well. And then I build up, I get ultimate high ground on both of the players, and I see that the player that started pushing me has been eliminated by the other player. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tarp out, build pyramids and cones and floors, take my RPG out. I see that he's down below not building, and bam. 160 or 116 RPG shot wins me the game. 11 eliminations. Smack that subscribe button to see more of my videos, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.